I got my really weird saying of record on it. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Vaginas and Vertebrae on New Year's Eve of 2019. I am Dr. Kaylee.
Dr. Madeline.
And we're super excited to be here. We're actually, unfortunately, not together. We both just got back from our Christmas trips and things like that, and we were just processing some of our emotions. I don't even think I could put one foot in front of the other out in public today. We're on video. We're recording this in video because we're trying to do better in 2020 about actually doing what we need to be doing as far as promoting this. But I'm like dead right now. I'm tired and I'm exhausted, and we got home from a 12-hour car ride, and I know Dr. Madeline flew in from Puerto Rico yesterday, so we're just tired, but we're still doing it. We're here for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we're excited about today's topic because we were just talking about this before, and we talk about this a lot, and we tell you guys all the time about the importance of self-care, self-love. Personally, I think those words are actually thrown around without really true definitions around them a lot of times. But we want to talk about going into 2020. Dr. Madeline, what is the one thing that you hear people say they want to do on New Year's? What is everybody doing right now with their planners and their notes and everything?
They're making resolutions.
Yeah, well, why?
Because they were raised and taught by society too.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking that is because then you're all sitting there, and I've done it too. I'm challenging you to listen to what we're saying today with an open mind. I am not saying that you should not set a resolution. I am saying that you should not set a resolution.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. What that means.
It's really like a verbiage or a language change, though. It's not necessarily that you shouldn't set goals, things like that. It's really understanding the intention and things behind it. So,
exactly.
With that being said, I want to kind of just start with Dr. Madeline and I kind of talking about what our past failed New Year's resolutions have been, because I know I have about 562 of things that I said I was going to do and I never did them. And we want to dive into why, or the things that happened that kind of contributed to us not completing those. And then we're going to tell you more about the difference between resolution versus an intention or a transformation, and why you should be setting New Year's transformational goals, New Year's intentions, things like that, instead of calling it a resolution. So Dr. Madeline, I'm going to kind of hand it over to you. I want you to talk about all of your, whatever you're thinking about right now, because this is kind of one we haven't planned for. So here we go.
I wish Dr. Kaylee told me this was part of the conversation, because I would have thought about it.
Never tell anybody what's going to happen.
I know, because if I'm being completely honest, I haven't set a New Year's resolution in a long time.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. I'm guessing it was, maybe in undergrad I had, or in high school, but it's really been that long. I don't know why it's never really been a thing, or it was casual conversation, what's your New Year's resolution going to be? And I never really, I think, honed in on it. I'm guessing back in really dysfunctional, younger times in my life, I probably picked oh, it's 10 pounds. I want to make more money, things like that, but no real structure or reasoning behind it. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I haven't set one in quite some time. I can think of, if that changes while we're talking, I'll let you know, but
yeah,
I'm trying to think.
For me, for instance, mine has always been, and I think females can all agree with this, a lot of men can as well, but we all set the weight loss resolution, which is why if you're in the fitness industry, January and February are freaking crazy months. You get everybody buying memberships. Everybody's coming into the gym because we all set a resolution to lose that extra 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is, or to get fit or anything like that. And the problem I have with that, for me, for instance, I've always set a goal to be more active, which a lot of people that know me think that's crazy because I am a very active person, but I still sit more doing work, and I still do more treatment-based things versus actually doing the activities that I like to do, like swimming or hiking or going and doing these things, traveling. And I always set a resolution for the past probably, 5-6 years. Before this past year, 2019 was a little different. I'm going to talk to you about what was different for me. But before that, I was always I want to lose weight. I want to be more active. I want to get out, 4 times a week. So I would go buy the gym membership, or I would buy the boot camp pack, or I would go and do whatever it was, go train for a 10K, couch potato to whatever.
Couch potato, you're right. Yeah.
Couch potato to 5K or whatever. And I would do things. because that's just what I was trained to do. That's what everybody else was doing. And I wanted that for myself. But I always noticed that at like 6 to 8 weeks, for me, it never lasted more than 2 months. I stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will honestly tell you that the reason that I stopped doing it, and the thing that I see with my clients, I don't let my clients use the word resolution, because I will ask them, what is it in the new year that you're going to accomplish? First of all, you got to set an affirmation that you're going to accomplish it. But people will so often say, I want to lose weight, but nobody takes the time to put an intention as to why. Is it because you want to have better health? Is it because you want to look better naked? Like, what are you looking for, a soulmate? Like, what is it? Why do you want that? Because if you're just putting a resolution out there, that is literally just a statement. And it means nothing unless you put your intentions behind it, and unless you form habits and things that you're going to start doing daily to make sure that is accomplished, which is what I changed in 2019. So 2019, instead of being like, I think it was Christmas Eve, actually, last year, 2018. What year are we in? In 2018. And I was like, I'm going to set my New Year's resolutions. And then I was like, wait a second. I don't want to use that word anymore. I'm going to set New Year's intentions, and I'm going to transform my life. And I'm totally go for this. And I'm actually going to accomplish 3 things on my list of things that I want to accomplish for 2019. One of which was I wanted to be more active. I wanted to do something 4 times a week that I truly enjoyed doing. Usually that involves the beach, the sand, outside, whatever. And I've accomplished that 4 times a week. This entire year, I am doing something outside. I'm either walking, I'm either running, I'm on the beach, I'm doing something fun, I'm traveling more, I'm doing all these things. But the only reason I did that was because I took time to build intentions. I want to be active outside because I think that life is a very precious thing. I don't want to miss out on viewing the beauty of outdoors by just sitting inside all day and just, never enjoying it. I also want to have good health. My parents don't have good health. I don't want to have bad health. So I wanted to do those things. So setting those intentions, and then around those intentions, my why, understanding why I want to be more active. And then I would set habits. What can I do every single day that is going to make sure that I accomplish that? And for me, I'm a very type A personality, so I had to put it on my planner. So my calendar goes off every single morning at 6 a.m. and it reminds me to do something active. It's great. I say it's simple. It was really hard to do initially for the first couple months because I was like pissed off that my alarm kept going off. And it's an annoying alarm, but my other habit was I wouldn't put my phone beside my bed to where I couldn't hit snooze. I had to get out of bed to go hit my alarm. So little things like that. I've actually now, I don't need my alarm clock because I just wake up at 6 and I know to either do yoga, go outside if it's not dark yet, like things like that. And it's just become a habit. And now it doesn't even make sense for me to not do something active. And it's actually daily. I've done it more than 4 times a week. So that's kind of like where my mind goes when we're sitting down writing like resolutions. I really challenge you guys to change your verbiage around that. Set intentions. What are your intentions for your life? What are your intentions for your family? What are your intentions for 2020? Like, what are you looking for? What do you want? What do you desire? And then making sure that you're formulating all of the habits around that.
Yeah. I think that's...
Sorry, Dr. Madeline. I can talk for like...
It's okay. I think that's great. And I know that like we both talk about that together, but I try to put that out when I talk to my patients and like other friends. It's like intentional living. Like, what is the reason behind what you're doing? Because we're not really ever taught to stop and think about that. We kind of just start going and doing things because we probably learned them from somewhere else and never like really why. And I think when you do, you can switch it and you understand the intention of why you're doing it, especially from what I've seen with like women and exercise, your experience is completely different. You're not then showing up at the gym, slaving over stuff you don't like to do and you're miserable to chase a certain number because at some point you associated that with happiness.
Yeah.
But going and doing movement, like you're saying, some sort of movement, let's say 4 times a week that you enjoy doing because that's going to bring you health and it's going to help your mental mind state. And those are important for you because maybe your family hasn't had that and you wanted to choose to live differently and set a different example for your kids. Yeah. Like that's a completely different way to walk into something and experience it, right? Yeah. Your experience at the end of the day is going to be completely different. And I recently saw this. Was talking to somebody and they were asking, what are some different ways that they could help manage like depression and that type of thing without meds? And exercise is one of the most best, like proven to be way more effective than even medication. And that person had started working out again, but at like a regular gym, which I don't think there's anything wrong. Find out what works for you. But this gym had like weekly, like weigh-ins, not just weigh-ins, but like measurements and things. So now that focus shifted for her to watching her numbers, which wasn't the reason she had started going back and working out anyway, or what her like intention was originally behind it, but she kind of got lost in that. So I don't know, having a good person who understands your intentions that can kind of reground you to that as well. That's quick little like, well, what was the reason that you started doing that activity again? And oh yeah, it wasn't to track my measurements or anything like that. It was so I don't have to be on depression medication and I can show up better for my daughter and for myself and be happy. Okay, then next time they do a weigh-in, opt out.
Yeah. You know, and I think it's just really important what you said about like intentional living. And I really challenge anybody listening to this episode right now, like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Like, why are you eating the cheeseburger? Why are you, and I'm not saying, by the way, that cheeseburgers are bad. I love cheeseburgers. I really think I make the best cheeseburger ever, but that's just me. Like blue cheese in it and stuff and barbecue. Like, I'm from the South, so I know how to cook. And I am not one of those people that's like, restrict everything to lose weight. I actually love food. But anyways, sorry, totally off topic. I'm a really big fan of the intentional living. And I think that goes into, for example, for pelvic health, if we have, you know, like for instance, urinary incontinence, it's something that I talk about a lot, peeing with, and I'll just take running, for example, because it's something that personally I've always dealt with. So if I'm running, and I'm running because I want to be healthy, but I have like urinary incontinence, that actually does change my intention of being active. And I know that sounds like a lot of words, but what I mean by that is if I'm running because I want to run so I can be skinny, I'm just going to say that because that's why I ran in school and grad school and all through that. I wanted to be skinny. I ran through a dysfunction because I wasn't paying attention to what my intentions were with running. I didn't pay attention to the fact that I was really running because I wanted to connect to my body, or I needed to connect to my body. I'll say need because I did not know that I had a dysfunction at that point. And I took time out of my running schedule and my training schedule, and I was doing half marathons all the time, and I was just peeing my pants all the time. And to me, I don't care. Like, I don't care how skinny I got. And I was pretty skinny, by the way. It wasn't a healthy look, but you know, I think a lot of us have been there. But I don't think that even mattered at that time either, because my true intention of running was because I wanted to be healthy, and I was running through urinary incontinence because I thought that it would go away the more that I ran. So that goes back into journaling about what are your feelings about what you're doing. And, you know, Madeline kind of hit it on the head there. I'm a big believer that if you're going to walk into a gym and you hate going to the gym, for instance, or you don't know what to do in the gym, and I get that a lot from clients, like, well, what am I supposed to do with the weights? What do I do with the barbell? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? If you're somebody that just doesn't enjoy lifting, don't waste your money. Like, if you enjoy walking, walk. If you really enjoy running, run. If you really enjoy rolling down a hill, roll down a hill. Like, we've got to figure out what it is that you enjoy doing. I, as a physical therapist, am a huge advocate for that. I never send somebody to a gym if they don't like it. If you don't like CrossFit, don't go. If you like it, beautiful. But again, pay attention to what I had said about the running kind of like metaphor that I gave you. Like, if you're doing that, what is your intention? Are you doing that because you want to look good, which is great? If you're chasing a scale, there's a lot of intentions we need to go into there. That's not what this episode is about. But what is your intention about choosing that type of fitness? Because again, it needs to change. It's healthy for those intentions to change. For instance, again, running to be skinny versus running to be healthy. Like, there's instances that will require those intentions to change. But if you don't ever pay attention to how you're feeling about that, then how are you going to know, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what I just said with all those words, but
that's a lot of things. A lot of good things. Yeah.
I say a lot of things, you know, sometimes I just talk and then I'm like, wait, what did I just say in the past 20 minutes? But that's been something that's bothering me though, because my intention for 2020 is actually to get back to running, because I haven't actually shared this with anybody. I haven't ran in over 9 months because of urinary incontinence. And then I just shut it off. And I was like, I don't want to run. I hate running, which to me is not intentional living, because I actually really enjoy running. but I shut it off because I had a dysfunction. And then I was like, okay, well, there has to be something else. So I was forcing myself to do other things that I didn't enjoy because I was just like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm done. And then I now have a mindset where I'm in the same mindset as my clients, right? So it's just like, what is my intention on wanting to run again? And now I'm setting those little habits around it, whereas I'm doing the same thing that my clients go through with my Leap No More with Running course. If you pee, we've got to figure out what that limit is. We've got to make sure that we're doing the things that we can do to prevent the urinary incontinence. So I'm going through my own program, which is kind of cool, but it's my intention around it of being able to get back into the half marathon training because I do miss it. And I think that it's important, to kind of recognize what are those things that you enjoy. But more importantly, like Dr. Madeline said, like, what is your intention behind it? Like, I think it's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think like, as you guys are listening to this, like really take some time. I mean, it'll be New Year's Eve. And two, I want to like hit on that. Like I think it's just a great time because it is the new year to set intentions and to look at that. But you can do this throughout the year. You can reset them, set new ones, or, you don't have to, if that makes sense, like it doesn't have to be just something you do once a year.
Absolutely. Yep.
And if your intention that you set in January for doing a physical activity or eating a certain way or whatever,
mm-hmm.
Is it serving you and you're checking in with yourself and you're not sure why you're doing it anymore, you're allowed to change it.
Yeah. And you need to change it. And that's another reason I have an issue with like resolutions is because we're like, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in January. But why?
Right.
Like what's your intention around that? And then understanding too, it's really healthy for intentions and goals, to change, because your ultimate goal is to come into a transformation. You want to have a transformational resolution. And I pulled up the definitions of those two words because I'm a nerd and I just wanted to make sure that I'm not like saying words that don't even make sense. But like transformation is actually a thorough or a dramatic change in form or appearance, whereas a resolution is a firm decision to do or not do something. So to me, a transformational resolution is a lot more powerful than just a resolution. Like a resolution is just saying, I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. Whereas the transformation is actually working towards changing the form. And I think that that's really important because that means that your habit has to go with your mindset. You have to have an intention that you want to accomplish that goal. So you don't have to take our advice on changing your words or anything like that, but really just focus on why you're setting that and take the time to journal about it or write about, like what is it deep down inside that truly makes you feel that you need to make 6 figures in 6 months? Why 6 months? Why? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when I work with people on this, they say, I need to make 6 figures fast. Why? And if it's something that's like, oh, well, I want to get this, this, and this done, and it turns out into all these things on reasons that should not be an intentional set, if that makes sense. Whereas you have the other people that will write down those things, and they need to make 6 figures because their father's sick and they need to pay for their medical care. So that intention is going to force you to go into a transformational, resolution training because you're going to force yourself to have habits to make that happen. Whereas if you're just saying it out loud, it's like an affirmation. I can say all day long that I am a millionaire, but if I don't try to act on it, nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to chill where I'm at, not being a millionaire. So you have to make sure that you're moving towards that. And always understanding, like Dr. Madeline said, like I've never set an intention or a goal that did not change. I think that's healthy. They should get bigger. They should get more vague, like not vague. They should get more like specific is what I'm trying to say. You should be able to change those things. For instance, like I want to run a half marathon in 6 months. When I get to 3 months, what happens if I can already run a half marathon? Or what happens if I'm only to 2 miles or I get injured? Am I just going to keep like that same thing and then be disappointed when it hits 6 months and I can't run a half marathon? No. Sure. I'm going to change it. So I think that that's important also to just giving yourself grace on understanding it's okay to change or transition that. But yeah, it's exciting. Oh, yeah. So those are our exciting tips on how to and why we hate New Year's resolutions, but how to create New Year's intentions and actually execute them. So I think that it would be kind of cool to end this episode with one intention that each of us have for 2020. Dr. Madeline, what do you have?
I feel like you should go first. I can think of mine.
My intention for 2020, I don't actually have a timestamp on this, but I truly desire to help 1,000 women be able to exercise without urinary incontinence. That's a lot of people. And so let me explain to you like why I'm thinking this way. I talk to a lot of people every day. I treat a lot of women. I do a lot of things. A lot of people know me, but I don't like help 1,000 women with that one specific target. So why is that my intention? It's a specific target. It's a specific niche. I don't have a timestamp on it because I think that I can honestly do it a lot faster than what I think I can. So I'm allowing the universe to kind of guide me into when that needs to happen. But I think that, you know, the 1,000 women within 2020 is going to be a really cool thing to accomplish, because that is truly where my passion is right now. And it forces me to say my why, which is I can't run without peeing. And I don't like that feeling. And I freaking hate that feeling, actually. It's embarrassing and full of shame and guilt. So I want to help people that are struggling with these things, because I want them to feel freedom and I want freedom. So I think going through that with them is going to be pretty powerful. So what are the habits that I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about what I do, and I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to start telling people what it is that I do on the streets. Anybody that mentions urinary incontinence with exercise, I'm going to talk to them about it. I'm going to get more people exposed to the products and to the services that I can actually help them with. And I just think that it's a really cool thing, because writing that out gave me the power and the ability to truly believe it. So now I know it's going to happen. There's no other way around it. But let's say I help 980 people. Am I going to be pissed off? No, I'm going to be excited and just have 1,010 I need to help the next year. So it's just one of those things that I'm excited to kind of like keep changing. But that's my big one right now. About 5 on my board. I'm narrowing them down because I try to do 3, but I have 5 right now. That's mine.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think I need to spend more time, like you have already, doing this so I can clarify it a little bit more. But one of my intentions, and I think this just definitely goes back to like changing it, I guess, as you said, and stuff like that, and why you're doing things. But I've definitely been struggling this last year with working out. Not like where I'm not doing it. I don't really struggle in that way. But my intention behind working out and like what I was doing was working for so long. And then somebody rear-ended me.
Yeah.
And I adjust a lot of people through the week being a chiropractor. And now I wake up with back pain every single day.
Yeah.
Which means like when I was going to CrossFit and I was enjoying it and doing it and loved feeling strong from picking up weights, that doesn't work for me anymore. It just hurts me. So healing that disconnect in my body in 2020 and finding out what that journey looks like.
Yeah. So exciting. I love that. It's sometimes hard too, because I think you guys can all sense the emotion behind Dr. Madeline's intention there. That's what we want, though. We want emotion behind our intentions, because pain is what contributes to it actually happening. Your beauty is coming out of your pain. Your intention will be your goal, your transformation, your resolution, whatever you want to call it, all going to happen out of some sort of pain or some sort of story you're telling yourself that you're not allowing yourself to become free from. So I think it's a really, really powerful thing for you to just literally sit in a quiet room and say, what do I want? And it can be for other people. It can be for yourself. It can be whatever you want to do. You want to get married. You want to have a relationship. You want to meet somebody. You want to travel. You want to go to Tahiti, like whatever it might be. And just understanding to unmask that, take all the layers of that onion off and like move through it, feel the things that you feel. Be emotional with it, let yourself grow through it, and just really set those intentions instead of forcing yourself to call it a resolution, because that gives you the ability to quit. And we're not quitters. Anybody that follows this podcast is not a quitter.
No.
Yeah, so that's our recommendation. Also, super cool news. We are having a launch party on January 15th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern at Atlas Chiropractic in St. Petersburg. Atlas Chiropractic Center. I always forget center at the end. But that's where it's going to be. But we are also going to be streaming that. So for any listeners out there that are not in Florida, if you are interested in that, you can still sign up for the event. There is an event page on Facebook. I've shared it a couple times. You'll be seeing more and more of that. There is a sign up link. It says get tickets, but it's free. You'll click on that. You'll go through kind of like getting into the information, and then we will be able to send you the streaming link so that you can watch us live, hanging out. We're going to be doing a live podcast while we're there. It's going to all be all exciting, and we can't wait. I have no idea what else is going to happen. Dr. Madeline's laughing at me right now because she has no idea what's going on. And I'm just like, hey, this is what's happening. If anybody wants to know how I operate, that is exactly what happened.
She's got it all figured out. She just takes a little bit longer to tell me.
Well, I think I tell you when I figure it out, and then I just realize I never communicated it. So here we are. That's what's
She
happening.
told me in her brain like 20 times by now, I'm sure.
So we're excited about that. So we hope to see you there. And again,
Yeah.
more information about it. And as always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you're more than welcome to comment. You're more than welcome to reach out. Let us know. All of our social media profiles are always shared on our platforms. But until next time, thank you for tuning in to Vaginas and Vertebrae, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.